Hello YouTube friends, welcome to my review of the Fender American Professional Stratocaster. And just a word on why I wanted to do this. I watch a lot of reviews on YouTube pretty much every day, and one of the things that frustrates me sometimes, and especially if I'm shopping for a guitar and I want to hear what the tone sounds like, and you pull up a review and somebody's running it through a super hot Marshall amp with a tube screamer and all this distortion and whatnot, and then you ask yourself, well, how am I supposed to get an idea of the tone of that instrument when there's so much overdrive and so much distortion and everything else on top of it? So it gets frustrating. It sounds great, but I mean, I could take a Squier Stratocaster and throw distortion on it and it's going to sound pretty good, if not fantastic itself. So that was always frustrating for me, and it's really tough to find a review that has sort of the clean sort of tones that you would do at home, and also the volumes that you do at home, because what we're going to go through today is this Fender Blues Junior Lacquer Tweed amp of mine back here. And just to keep things sort of neutral, all the EQs are at 12, or in this case 6.5, so straight up. Volumes on 3, masters on 3, and there's the reverbs on 3 to give a little bit of presence, you know, a little bit of full sound. And you know, when you practice at home, you're on 3. I mean, the baby's sleeping upstairs, so I'm not in a studio somewhere where I can crank this thing up to 10 and say, hey, you know, listen to this fantastic tone that you can get from this guitar and amp, when you take it at home and you're on 3 and it sounds entirely different. So that's the story of how we're going to do this and why we're going to do this. And I also want to mention some other things. When I went to buy this guitar in Sienna Burst, by the way, look how beautiful this thing is. It's a really pretty guitar. And you probably saw my unboxing video somewhere. But what happened to me is I have a 97 Stratocaster, and it sounds really muddy. And I don't know if it's just the way they were then or if over time it deteriorated, but it just doesn't have that sort of glassy, bouncy, snappy Stratocaster sound that I was looking for. And what really ruined it for me was I went to Music Emporium here in Concord, and I played a 65 Stratocaster. And that thing had such a great tone, and I started to go crazy trying to find that kind of a tone without spending $15,000, $14,000, and that's not easy, as you know. So I was looking at the vintage reissues, I was looking at the American standards, I was looking at the Stratocaster Elites, I was looking at pretty much anything American made, because I really like the fact that many of these instruments are made in America. So the gentleman over at Guitar Center in Boston was kind enough to set me up in a room with the door shut, a Fender amp, which is what I use, obviously. In this case, though, I was going through a Princeton over there, and I had all the guitars in front of me, and I was able to try each of them out. And they didn't have this, but they had the alder version. This is Ashwood. And it sounded the best. It sounded the clearest, the snappiest, the most quintessential Stratocaster sound that I could find. And I think the reason is these great pickups, these Tim Shaw vintage voiced pickups, which are fantastic. So that's why I ended up with this guitar. And I'm not going to get too technical in all of this because I don't really know that stuff. So let's just talk a little bit about the sound. So, and yeah, so this is the neck pickup. So it has that really nice, so you get those highs, but you also get nice full chord. So now we're going to go to these two pickups. So, very nice, full tone, nice highs. You can bend this thing forever. You can do a whole step, probably a whole step and a half. This is my favorite setting, you might be able to tell. Okay, now middle pickup. So that's probably the setting I use the least. I don't have a good ear for the middle pickup, but this one does sound great. So. So it sounds very bright. Maybe nice for like Chicago blues style. Not that that was that, but. So, real bright once again, but a very rich, authentic tone. And remember, this thing is not loud. It shouldn't sound this good. So, pretty impressed. All right, so now we're going to try these two pickups. Let's see what we get. What will we get? So great tone. I mean, I love it. fantastic all around. Use your imagination as to how it would sound with distortion on it. Okay, so now we're at the bridge pickup, which for me, this pickup sort of defines the Stratocaster. If you get this pickup right, you have the guitar right. And the problem with it is that often it just sounds so piercingly, trebly, and it's awful. And I personally, I like to play some surf music. Not very well. I'm not that great. I'm not that great at guitar, so I don't really care. I just enjoy it. Always wear Norwegian sweaters, though. You'll always see that in my video. Well, most of the time. So anyway, trebly. Is it going to be trebly, like an ice pick in your ear? No. This has that vintagey, quintessential Strat sound, which sounds really nice for surf. Now I'm going to keep the reverb where it is. Normally I crank it up, but just to give you a sense. See, it's got that great... Should have the tremolo bar on there. I forgot to plug it in. It does stick in, but I actually left it in the case. I don't often use it except when I play surf. So it does work very well. It snaps in easily, pops out easily. It's right there when you need it. It doesn't go out of tune, so it's very good with that. Let's see, what else can we do in this? So all that groove, we can play it out of tune. So what? Really great Stratocaster sound without killing your ears. So, build quality is excellent. There's a couple of things that annoyed me. One is when I got it, the pick guard had the plastic on it, and it seems like they just drilled it into the guitar with the plastic on it. So I left it sort of like a grandmother with the plastic covers on her furniture until it started to wear off. And then I had to pull it all off and take all the knobs off and try to get it all off. And I think probably if you look closely around one of these screws, there's probably still a little bit of plastic on there. So that drove me crazy. I think maybe you need to take the pick guard off and then rip it off all at once and then put it back on. But that's kind of ridiculous. But that's the one annoying thing they did. And the one in back is the same way. I still have the plastic on there. You can see it curling up in the corner. I just kind of left it. Not as important. Hey, look how pretty the back is, by the way. Especially here. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That gorgeous ash wood. It's amazing. The only other thing was that this strap holder started to come loose, which I was surprised at. But that's not the end of the world. But still, Had to tighten it up. Not a big deal. I'm not going to hold that against them. The tuners are great, very precise. The maple neck is fantastic. It's satiny on the back and shiny on the front, and it has a really nice profile. It feels full in your hand without being too, without slowing you down. Twangy too when you think about it. Almost almost like a Telecaster there for a second. You get an idea, I hope, of the tones this thing is capable of. I'm usually up here. So this is bedroom volume, me playing. So just imagine what you can do with it. So that's my review. It's Fender, American Professional, Strat, Sienna Burst, one take. This is a one-take video. I'm not doing it again. I made a couple mistakes. I don't really care. It's out there, and I can't recommend this enough. Good luck.